and all those kind of things. So many things have been standardized that were not really standardized in the original SegY standard. And what you get is that the SegY revision 1 also says if a file is to be revision 1, then the producer of the file has to put a flag somewhere in this header, in the tape header. It's a flag about here, about there, and that flag tells me, okay, if it's like that, then I know for sure that a couple of things are actually the case. So if this flag is like that, I know, for example, that my inline crossline will be at the end of the header somewhere at a specified location. Each of these trace headers. Now, do I know for sure whether it's revision 1? Well, if my provider, if I trust my provider, or if I know it comes from Landmark or GeoFrame, you know, a trusted party, not SMT, for example, who still can't do it after 8 years, but those, or if you get it from a trust, you can say, okay, yes, I know for sure it's SegY revision 1, and then you're done because you don't have to specify anything. But here, you know, I would like to check it a little bit, because if you go to 181 and following, there should be a lot of data here, and you see there's no data at all. I can try to enlarge this, but it doesn't help. Zeros are zeros. It's just not there. So it's not revision 1 at all. I need to do that. And then I get my next one. Other concept, just the other way around. If I have a 2D line, I can't set up my 3D survey because there is just not inline crossline versus coordinate. There are the boundaries. I can set the boundaries, but if, let's say, if I have a straight line, then it would be a very flat thing. It can't be done. So what we do here is we scan it just for information, just to get a ballpark figure of these boundaries, where to put. And it's not a problem. We can simply take something and change it later. But it's good to know that at least we can do a scanning of it. Now we get another very important part of the story. This, what you can see, is a trace number byte. The trace number is, as I said before, it has to be a good number. You can't just take any number as trace number. You can't say, well, I know that I've got the shot point number and it's good, because shot point numbers tend to have problems. Because in the end, CDP numbers should be okay. Very often CDP numbers are not right. You can take some kind of sequence number, are also all right. But you have to have something to identify the trace with. And if I look, for example, here, and people say, oh yeah, I can see that's my shot point number. Very nice, but you can see it doubles up. It's not usable for its purpose. It's not identifying this trace. It's not a good trace number. I can take one of these. I can take this one, first byte. I can see it just goes up and up and up. If I go, see, it just goes up everywhere. And the other one I can actually use is, I think, let's see, this one wouldn't work. Yeah, that one also works, the 13. You can see it goes up and up and up. Let's take a few samples. Yes, seems to work. I think actually this is the one we're looking for. So I have to change this to 13. But if you know that this is your shot point number, well, you know, why not make that your ref? This is actually an addition to 4.2. It's not in 4.0 yet, which is also this one. If you don't have coordinates, here we have coordinates, luckily, good coordinates. If you don't have them, you can actually say, I don't have them. And then you can do two things. You can either generate them with a start coordinate and a step, which essentially gives you a straight line, or you can have a number XY file. It's just a file with trace number XY. It has to be the same trace number as this one, of course, and XY. It doesn't have to be for every trace, just the bend points are good. It will interpolate, extrapolate, but something to go on to get your geometry right. But basically, 4.2. Now, let's see, you can actually, this setup with all these things that you've chosen, you can save that. So without any fantasy, I just call it the setup. And let's just try it. Now let's scan it and see what happens. Well, this is already, again, a good sign. Total number of positions, number of unique positions. Sorting is okay. I don't get any error messages, which means that the number nicely goes up and stays going up. Doesn't go back somewhere in the middle or something. If that's, then you get an error message. It won't load it. This looks right. Trace numbers are okay. We have a good trace distances, about 25 meters. Z range is 4 milliseconds. Okay, let's just keep it like that. And now I can say set for 2D only. So I don't have to fake my own inline and crossline range. I just fill in here. It's like 25 meters. That doesn't have to be precise. And the coordinate range as well. Let's just take literally these ones. But we'll see that everything will not be complete. Well, the other lines, for example, will not be there. You can also see that I've done this before. And take this. Control V and Control V. And now, you see, it has built you some inline and cross lines. It gives a box definition. And still have to put the Z range. It was 0 to something like 2 seconds. Doesn't really matter what you put there. Because as you know, it can stick out in all directions. It doesn't have to be exactly the good. And we can say OK. Now I've got my survey. And I've got to do OK. Nothing there. Of course not, because we just set up the survey. We haven't loaded anything. We just scanned one file to see what we could expect. So let's go for seg-y. Input. Just take one of these lines. This was all okay. We go next. No, it wasn't a seg-y revision 1. The trace number byte was, well, I could actually read the setup that I could have done that before, actually. I forgot to do it. Anyway, you can see that these things are still the same. I'm going to get me a line name. I'm going further. I don't want no traces. And line set, what do you call it? If you have a real thing, it would be something like serve XX or whatever. But the line set is just a grouping of your lines, and it's naturally it would be something like, okay, I have a 95 survey and a 98 survey, then you would do it along that. So maybe, like serve 95 is a good name. But I can see this is a nice one. Import more similar. Yeah, I had 3 of those, so I didn't want to do all of them. If I do OK, I can see, okay, so what does it say? Input #L will become line name. So this is the reason that that I've put all these lines in one directory. That's what you need to do to get this good. Just make one directory with all these lines, and then they can just be scanned like that in one go. And then the lines will be named like the file name. So if we do that, then very fast, because it's very small. I don't want this one anymore. And now you'll see that if I do this, I can do that. And I can select this as attribute. And that's where we are. And you can see that the line as scan is that one. It set up the survey exactly because I put in those things from the report like this. But there's nothing against just editing this and set for 2D only and change this so that it incorporates a bigger part of the space or just smaller, anything you want. So that's basically 2D. So these were the hard parts. You could see there's real problems that you have to know what seg-y is all about, how it can be stored and those kind of things if you have problematic stuff. And I would like to show you how it goes if you have real revision 1 stuff, which you should pressure your vendor or whatever on any other package, support revision 1. That's what you need to do because it will, well, I can remove all this thing. Let's just make a new one. So that's how I'm going to show the pre-stack. Test, whatever, test pre-stack. It's 3D. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to scan the segway file. 3D, and that would be the pre-stack one. I even don't need to, because I know this is good stuff. I got it from a trustworthy company, and well, let's still do that just for the heck of it, because you can also see what happens if you do have good stuff. You can see the header can actually help you. Of course, it's created by a good package, by a good person. So that's right. You can see, oh yeah, the survey setup is there. So it can actually help you. And this is required by revision 1. And you can see here, revision 1 flag is there. Let's do a little check here. Yes, there's how it should be. Real coordinates, real inlines and cross lines. This looks like real revision 1. Well, pre-stack data. So I don't need to think, it's good 100%. And now you can see you don't have to do anything, just press OK. The segway scan, I can look at this all, it looks all okay. Don't really need it. This has been filled in correctly. So we do OK. OK. So, well, let's not do this at this point in time because, well, first of all, Z-scale is ridiculous. So basically, because I want to show you another way to do pre-stack loading. There's two ways to do. You can do the normal segway, but I just want to shortly go into this one. This is the pre-stack scan. For this to work, you have to have a pre-stack files that stay there. You can't throw them away or anything. They have to stay there because OpenDetect just scans them and keeps looking at them rather than actually loading them into our own data store. This has actually been sponsored by BG, and in the coming half year we'll also make something for post-stack data, which is not nearly as important as pre-stack, because pre-stack is a giant amount of data usually, whereas post-stack, I mean, what's the cost of disk space nowadays? Not for me, it's not very interesting, but still, BG is sponsoring it, so why not? Anyway, here you can see you just have to. Everything is exactly the same as in the other one. You get exactly the same in your next step. But in the end, if you've done that, now I don't want to see it again anymore. Yes, I know that. You see that everything has to be set, and you can specify a data store. It's just like actual normal import, but it's not actually importing. It's keeping the files where they are. It just makes an index file. It works. But